Hey everyone, this is the Mind of Lilith, and thank you for joining me today. I'm going to be sharing my thoughts about the most recent episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, that is season 4, episode 9. I'm not going to be doing a full episode recap, as there are plenty of other people and content creators and people on social media who do a great job of this. Instead, I'm going to be focusing on specific segments of the episode that I believe can be used as teachable moments for myself and the audience. To start, just to get this out the way, Jalen's party was uncomfortable and it looked whack as hell. Production needs to stop drumming up manufactured opportunities for the cast to come together to argue and just, show nonsense. I don't know what the point of that scene was. They shouldn't even have that party. Jalen probably would not have invited any of those people if it were a real party. And he has his own crew that he hangs out with. I'm sure he has people from his job that he could have brought to this housewarming party. But production wanted to make it into a Love and Marriage Huntsville housewarming, and it was trash. They could have kept that whole situation. What's interesting about Destiny and Stormy in that particular scene that they had when they were trying to come together and figure out what their problems were, I could see Destiny and Stormy becoming friends down the line. They have similar personalities. And from the first time I saw Stormy, I said that Stormy seems like the type of person who would find an excuse to have an issue with anything. She's the type of person who will deliberately misunderstand or misinterpret what you're saying for the opportunity to have an argument or conflict with you. I'm not saying that's always the case, but from when Destiny called her sweetie, it wasn't that serious. Even if Destiny meant it in a condescending way, sometimes you have to let bygones be bygones in order to move forward and progress in a conversation. And because Stormy is so defensive every time you see her, doesn't matter who she's talking to, she's very defensive. It is difficult to have productive conversations with people who are very defensive and who only hear what they want to hear. So I'm not surprised that Destiny walked out, but I do see them being friends or somewhat acquaintances down the line. They have similar personalities and vibe. It was cute to see Stormy's husband show up. I was happy to see that, Kimmie tried to get people together to do whatever, but it was worthless. It was whack. Tisha and Melody should not be in the same space together. It was just awkward, passive aggressive BS. So yeah. Now, there was a scene where Kimmie was talking to Martell about his behavior. And Kimmie was basically saying that she did not want to invite Martell to this housewarming party because Martell brings drama with him. And this is what I was saying a couple of weeks ago about Melody. Melody was entitled to invite anybody to her party that she wanted to. But if your goal is to maintain the peace in your life, then inviting your enemy's cousin to a party that production asked you to invite her to, which means that she wasn't supposed to be there in the first place and she wasn't an integral part of that party. It was just to make a scene. And that was done successfully. Now we are talking about the same old party for the whole freaking season. And it's not even worth being talked about because Kiki did not say anything, in my opinion, that was so inflammatory towards Tisha. Maybe production took it out. I don't know, but I didn't see anything that was that bad. And it's interesting that nobody's asking her what she said. It's like they're trying to play into the drama even more, okay? Just ask her what she said. And that's it. Then you can find out whether or not she was trying to do whatever. And even if she was, it's over now. But anyway, Kimmie was like, basically, Martell is a hotbed of drama. Martell is the eye of the hurricane storm of drama that's in his life. And I think this was aired after... this was filmed after Ariane's interview with Tasha K. And there was a whole huge social media storm afterwards. And Ariane was allowed to disrespect all of the Love and Marriage Huntsville cast. She disrespected everybody. And Martell did not check her publicly for disrespecting everybody in the cast. As a result, Kimmie is now seeing Martell for who he is. a messy person who likes drama and wants to bring other people down with him. So what Kimmie says is, because I don't want drama in my space and I have some sort of control over who I have in this party, even though production wants me to invite Miss Wanda when I don't want her to be there, I don't want you there, Martell, because I know that you are associated with a person, Arion, who openly disrespects everybody that you know. And you're okay with her openly disrespecting people because that's how you feel internally about us anyway. That's what Kimmie is basically trying to say. So the fact that Martell did not handle his business with Arion, I think that's the reason why she doesn't want him around her. And again, Martell has dirt on Maurice and Marsau. And Kimmie does not want her little bubble to be burst. Neither does Tisha. Okay? So Martell being around, it just breeds negative energy and attention towards her relationship. And she doesn't want to have to doubt Maurice. Right? She doesn't like Maurice being around Martell. This is why when Lewis mentioned this trip to Atlanta, Kimmie looked very flustered when she found out about this party or this trip to Atlanta that Martell is having, because she knows how Martell gets down. She knows how Maurice and Marsau and Martell get down together, and that's making her feel some kind of way. And it's a tough spot to be in because as a wife, you want to trust your husband. You don't want to have to go back and forth between feelings of distrust and insecurity, but also, being a grown woman and saying, you know what? He's a grown man. He's entitled to do what he wants to do. I have to trust him, but you don't want to have to be put in a position to have to trust somebody who's around someone who's a cheater and untrustworthy, right? And so because, Arion mentioned about all the men having linebackers with them, including Maurice, all of them had women with them while they were supposedly in committed relationships. Kimmie is now paranoid about the guys going to Atlanta, which is like a hotbed for sin, okay? Strippers, prostitution, it's Sin City. Right? And she knows this. And all the women know this. So Atlanta is where you get married. Sorry, not Atlanta. Alabama is where you get married and find a wife. And Atlanta is where you go to find your side pieces or to hook up with side pieces. That is the arrangement that these men have. They're not going to party in Huntsville. Huntsville is not for that. That's what Georgia is for. Atlanta is for. And this is why when in season 2 or 3, I believe, when Marsau got into that car accident and he had his bachelor car with him, right? He was basically, in my opinion, scouting for females. Okay? I could be wrong, but his wife was out of town. Tisha was out of town. He got in an accident, and he got in an accident in that hot rod car that he had, the bachelor car, the 2-seater. Why would a married man take that car to a camping trip with his fellas? That is a car that you use to bait women, basically. Anyway, so Kimmie was saying what I was saying a couple weeks ago. If you want to protect your energy, don't invite opportunities for drama into your life. If you want to make sure that you're not inviting drama into your life, don't invite people who are associated with drama into your life. We all are entitled to do whatever we want to do, but we cannot complain about the fallout afterwards. We can't say, well, the people who I knew are snakes, they should have been snakes. No, if you're inviting snakes to your party, then you know the snake is going to bite you, and you can't complain about the snake biting you if you knew that they were a snake before you invited them in the first place. I'm not saying Kiki was a snake. I'm saying that Kiki should not have been invited to that party because it was going to create drama, and that is why Carlos asked Melody to do so. This is why I said what I said. It wasn't to say that Melody should not do what she wants to do as a woman. She's not entitled. She doesn't have her own rights. She can do what she wants to do. We all have the right to do what we want to do. But our actions have consequences. And this is what Kimmie was telling Martell. You can do what you want to do, Martell, but you're not going to do it around me. You're not going to mess up my situation because you're a messy person. So because I can't change you, all I can do is change my behavior towards you, which means not inviting you to certain things, which means blocking you off, right? Reducing communication, just like Melody did. Melody cannot change Martell. All she can do is change her behavior towards him, which means cutting off all unnecessary contact, emails, phone calls, text messages, visits. that's all done. Because you are who you are and you're entitled to be who you are, I'm entitled to protect myself from you by getting rid of you. That's it. By removing you from my life, by not allowing you to be in my space, in my face. That is essentially what Kimmie was saying. And Martell took offense to it because he's competing with Melody to see who is the most likable person. He is competing with Melody to see who has the most friends after this divorce. Everything he does is about competing with Melody. Because he couldn't compete with Melody intellectually, he couldn't compete with Melody when it comes to his business acumen, he couldn't compete with Melody when it comes to discipline and having the ability to create something out of nothing, right? Her ingenuity and her courage and her ambition, he couldn't compete on that level. He has no choice but to use his friendships as a source of competition. Martell said a couple of episodes ago, Melody is trying to get people to not like me. She's trying to get people to stop talking to me, to stop being my friend. Lo and behold, since season 2, Martell has been going around doing exactly what he said Melody was trying to do to him. Martell was telling Marsau and Tisha that the issue that they had was because of Melody. Okay? Martell told Destiny during the divorce process, make sure that you're my friend after this divorce. You know, we were friends before you met Melody. So make sure you choose me in the divorce. Instead of being amicable and saying, you know what, I messed up my marriage. My wife can have whoever she wants to have in her corner to console her during this trying time of her life. No. I want to take her friends from her. I took her dignity from her. I took her money from her. I took her respect from her. I took her businesses from her. I took her marriage from her. Now I want to take her friends from her too. I want her to have nothing at the end of the day because I own her and she belongs to me. And how dare she leaves me alone to deal with the consequences of my actions without her protection. How dare she do that? Okay. Now, this final scene I'm going to discuss. Marsau was talking to Tisha about people coming for their marriage. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. But then in the back of my mind, I got irritated. I was like, wait. Social media did not start these rumors about Marsau cheating. Okay? Marsau was cheating before the show even aired. Marsau disrespected his marriage before the show aired. Okay? Marsau was the one who went to Africa by himself without his wife and children. Social media didn't do that. Marsau was the one who was supposedly cheating with Melody's hairstylist, per Ariane, for several years. Social media didn't do that. I don't appreciate Marsau blaming social media for trying to ruin his relationships when he's done a damn good job of that by himself. Martell was the one who accused Marsau of having 20 girlfriends. We didn't even know about this. Social media did not know about this. Now, I will say this. It is inappropriate, in my opinion, for people on social media to dox individuals on this show, to research their financial records and their personal business, and that's a lot for me. I do think that's too much. People are doing too much when they're basically doxing the cast members and putting their public information online as fodder. I tend to focus what's happening on the show and what is being disclosed by the cast members on other platforms via interviews or their social media posts. I don't go into their background to find out their personal situation. That's too much for me. I can easily do that, but I think there's some ethical issues there that I don't want to cross, okay? But Marsau was accused of being a cheater. He was cheating before social media. I don't think that he should project what he's done to his wife onto social media. He knows exactly what he was doing, and the fact that social media is calling him out on that is what Tisha has an issue with. Not necessarily his cheating per se, but the fact that other people know that he's potentially a cheater. Melody was the one who said that Martell's behavior began to change when he was hanging out with Marsau and Maurice. That's what Melody said. This is before social media speculation and fodder. Yes, people are adding fuel to the fire, but Marsau lit the fire in the first place. Okay? Martell knows where the bodies are buried. And so does Tisha, in my opinion. If Tisha is using her marriage as a status symbol to look down on other people who are not married, who may be single parents, or whoever the case may be. If she's doing that to compete with her family members or her relatives, then she's going to want to protect the illusion of that marriage at all costs, including protecting the liar and then blaming social media for her husband being a cheater or being accused of cheating. Marsau was first accused of cheating by Martell. Marsau was the one who wasn't wearing his wedding ring while he was going on vacations by himself without his wife and children. Marsau was the one who kept Tisha in the house so that she couldn't see what he was doing outside the home while she was watching their 3 children. Okay? Marsau was the one who was in Atlanta with the linebackers. Okay? So while I do acknowledge the fact that marriages are sacred, okay, if they're treated as such, and that protecting the family unit is very important for the Scott family, which I agree with. They should be doing that. I don't think the enemy necessarily is social media. I think the enemy is within that household. So if social media were to get quiet, that would just give Marsau more license to do what he's been doing, because he would not have as much attention on his back. So when he was like obscure in the cut, nobody knew who he was, there was no Love and Marriage Huntsville, he was still doing his thing. Right? If he wants people to respect his marriage, he has to respect it first. Right? Now, I'm not saying that people should attack his marriage and be vicious and vile and create false rumors against him. I'm not saying that at all. I think that people should stop manufacturing drama and, lying on individuals. Don't lie on Marsau. There's enough evidence and receipts to prove that he was cheating before, I'm sure. You don't need to lie about that to create drama, okay? And don't report on stories that have not been confirmed by a primary or secondary source. But with this situation, I would not accept Marsau blaming social media for his marriage being in jeopardy or people trying to attack his marriage or ruin his family. No, he is the one who did not even want to renew his vows for Tisha on national TV just to make her feel better about what's going on in their relationship. He was the one who said he was depressed, right, in his marriage. Not because of social media, right, and not because of Tisha per se, but because, he kind of blamed Tisha in a sense by saying she needs to listen more, as if she wasn't listening to his BS enough. I wish I would have a man cheat on me and then him tell me I need to listen to him more after I found out he's cheated for reasons that have nothing to do with me. I wish I would listen to that. But some women value the man more than they value themselves, so let her do that. I don't think people are trying to destroy Marsau's marriage for the sake of being malicious towards Tisha. I think people want Tisha to be happy, because in season 1 and 2, Tisha was very vocal about being unhappy in her relationship with Marsau for whatever reason, right? She felt like he was distant from her. He wasn't as attentive. He had this vasectomy behind her back. Okay. A lot of things were happening that would give her cause for alarm in her relationship. So she expressed this, and people on social media were concerned for her, right? So they were like, okay, let me try to help her out. Let us try to help her out and figure out what's going on in her marriage. Now, initially, I stayed away from their marriage because I felt like that's something that should be respected, and I still do. But there were certain things that were coming up after the reunion that I was like, okay, these people are playing in our faces, and I want to call attention to how they're doing that. But I don't believe that somebody should intentionally try to destroy another person's relationship, especially if they're happy in that relationship. If they're not happy, then it's kind of fair game in a sense, according to the court of public opinion. Okay, so if you're happy in your relationship, in your marriage, don't complain about it. Because if you complain about something, people will try to find a solution to that problem. Why are you complaining? Oh, she's complaining because he's cheating? She's complaining because he's with other women? Is she complaining because she's not getting enough attention? Why is she complaining? And they will try to find a reason why a person's complaining about a marriage. So in season 1 and 2, Tisha was complaining about not getting enough attention from Marsau. She was complaining about just, distance and vacations and money and whatever the case may be. And we found out Marsau wasn't wearing his wedding ring. We found out Marsau never took Tisha on vacation. We found out Martell accused Marsau of having 20 girlfriends. We find out Melody said that Martell's his behavior changed when he hung out around the Scott brothers. These are all warning and red flags of like, okay, Then we have Arion saying that Marsau was sleeping with somebody that was close to Melody and Martell. Like, why would anybody intentionally want to lie on Marsau in season 1 and 2? Nobody knew him like that. And nobody had a vested interest in the show to that extent. A lot of people were so protective of Tisha in season 1 and 2 that they actually had a problem with Melody bringing up Marsau's infidelity, even though there were receipts and evidence of the fact. Huntsville's a small town. It wouldn't be hard for Melody to find out if that was the case, if he was cheating, okay? And then I think we find out that Kiki and Tisha had conversations about Marsau cheating prior to the show even airing. So there was an issue of transparency. It is nobody else's business what Tisha and Marsau does in their marriage. That's correct. However, if the narrative that's being created is that Melody is a hater who's trying to destroy somebody's marriage because she's bitter and she's trying to destroy a perfect marriage, that's not true either, because guess what? Melody was calling out the infidelity in her marriage and in Marsau's marriage, because the infidelity in Marsau's marriage was affecting her marriage to Martell. So Marsau's cheatation and lack of respect for marriages, right, because he was helping Martell cheat on his wife, that was a cause for alarm for Melody. So she kind of brought Marsau into the mix because he was already in the mix. Melody wasn't trying to destroy Tisha's marriage. She was saying that there's a connection between what my husband is doing and what your husband is doing. So if my husband's cheating and your husband's helping my husband to cheat, I would be foolish not to think that your husband's cheating too. And it is important for me to know that your husband's a cheater, because guess what? When your husband's going out of town and my husband's with him, I want to know what your husband's doing so I can have an idea what my husband's doing too. So if my husband is hanging out with a cheater, I have to know this. It is my right to know if my husband's friend is a habitual cheater and a liar. Not to ruin Tisha's marriage, but to protect my own marriage. I have to know if my husband's friends are cheaters. So now, if I find out my man's cheating, I'm going to find out if your man's cheating with him or helping him to cheat too. And so there's collateral damage. And people are now going to accuse Melody of wanting to see this marriage fail. That's not what it is. What happened was Melody used her critical thinking skills and her researching capabilities to connect the dots between Martell's cheating and Marsau's cheating. And so she brought light to that on the show. Okay, my husband has a whole situation going on here. He has a whole game he's playing with his best friend, using his best friends as a cover for his BS. And they're all going to Atlanta together. Tisha's husband is my husband's best friend, or one of his best friends. They're doing this together. So they're both responsible for the dissolution of my marriage. Both of them played into it. So I'm not just going to call it out to hurt Tisha. That wasn't the point. If I'm calling out Martell, I have to now show the whole story, tell the whole story. Well, guess what? He wasn't acting like this until he hung out with those people. Not to say Martell wasn't cheating beforehand, but he became a lot more comfortable doing so after being about Marsau. And when Martell said Marsau had 20 girlfriends, that means he was comfortable cheating. Even if he didn't have 20 girlfriends. Marsau was so comfortable cheating on Tisha that Martell developed a cavalier attitude about cheating on Melody. If you guys remember in season 1, Martell said he wished Melody was more like Tisha. Now, what would that mean? When a man who's cheating says that he wishes his wife was more like his friend's wife who's being cheated on, in my opinion, that means that Tisha knew that Marsau was cheating and she kind of swept it under the rug. And that is what Martell wanted Melody to do too. So Tisha Ben knew Marsau was cheating. And the fact that she stayed, it kind of fed into the chauvinistic attitude that men have towards women, that women have to put up with their shit. Regardless of how it hurts the women, just put up with it, because that's your job, to put up with my garbage, to accept my flaws, right? While I tell you that you're not making me happy because you're not satisfying me. Put up with my shit. And one of the reasons why Martell was so angry with Melody is because he felt like, how dare you buck the system? How dare you not be like Tisha? How dare you not stay in your place? Your place is to accept my bullshit. You're the woman. Stay in your place. Your place is at home, breeding me babies, making me money, and making me look good. How dare you assert your independence and your agency as a woman? You need to be more like Tisha, who needs a man to feel validated. He resented Melody for not needing a man to feel validated. Most men resent women who don't need men to feel validated. They feel useless because essentially they are, because all they have to offer is drama. So if you're a man who has nothing to offer a woman, of course you're going to feel invalidated if a woman doesn't need you, right? So what else are you bringing to the situation besides drama? Can you bring support? Can you bring loyalty? Can you bring patience? Can you bring kindness and integrity? So not only do you not have resources, you don't even have character. A lot of these men don't even have character to bring to the table. So when women say they don't need men, they're not saying this as if they hate men. No, I don't need to be around somebody who doesn't even have the integrity to compensate for his lack of resources. So you're going to be a cheater who's mooching off of me too? You're going to be an abusive, cheating, lying, misogynistic man that's using me for money, that's using me for clout, that's using me for credibility as a businessman, right? So why do I need to be married to you again? Because guess what? I'm not going to sacrifice my mental health for your clout, for your reputation, for your status. I'm not doing that. For your ego. No. So Melody said, I'm not going to be like Tisha. I'm not going to look the other way when my man cheats. Because guess what? I'm the one with the builder's license. I'm the CEO of our companies. I'm the one busting our ass to make sure that we have enough money to take care of your mistress, sir. To take care of the children, sir. To take care of our other business ventures, sir. Why would I sit back and let you treat me as if I'm subordinate to you and I'm supposed to put up with your cheating with a woman who has nothing to offer? I don't need a man to that extent, right? I don't need a man to make me feel valuable because guess what? I am the whole freaking table. I'm the whole table. I'm the businesswoman. I'm the mother of several children, right? I'm the one with the ambitions and the acumen and the discipline to do what I need to do. Why am I compromising my values for somebody who has little to nothing to give me? You can't even give me loyalty and respect. Why do I need you in my life at all? I mean, we can co-parent, but I don't need you in my intimate spaces, affecting my emotional and psychological and spiritual well-being. That's not going to happen. So the whole scene with Marsau in the car, talking to Tisha, yeah, man, these stupid motherfuckers. Yeah, sir, you're the first motherfucker who cheated on your wife. Don't get it twisted, sir. Tisha may fall for it, but do not project that energy outward. We're not going to take responsibility for you being a cheater and you creating this chaos in your home initially. Okay? Okay, so one more thing. My website is going to be down for the week. I'm working on updating the whole thing because, over the weekend I was working on it and then all of a sudden the servers crashed. I said, I'm so sick of this hosting service company. I can't do it no more. It's slow and it keeps crashing. So I decided to transfer to a new hosting provider, which I already have done. And now I'm going to redesign the site to make it a little bit better and add some more functionality to it. Once retrograde season is over, I have a couple of surprises for the audience. Yay! Coming in June, because I don't want, people to, do what they do. I don't want negative energy and to be put towards my projects and my ideas until they are fully manifested and come into fruition. Okay? So anyway, that's all I have to say for now. I look forward to reading your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will speak to you soon.